Hello and welcome back to my show. Happy Friday, wherever you are. Let's get to the news. Now, the CDC updated its guidelines for mask use, and they are saying now that you are allowed in many states to have a mask on outside of your home. So, as long as you're 6 feet away from another individual, including an animal, and that you're with people who are living in your household, then you could all be free to be maskless. So let's read that. So the CDC has now this is according to Zero Hedge. The CDC has now updated guidance as of April 19th, advising, quote, masks may not be necessary when you're outside by yourself, away from others, or with people who live in your household. But they also have another updated guideline that you might want to take into consideration. Now, if you're vaccinated, you still need your mask on. So is that a little contradictory there? Maybe not. Okay, another CDC guideline updated April 2nd. You tell me. That people vaccinated are still to wear a mask and distance 6 feet, avoiding crowds. Okay. Other things in the news, we know there's shortages across the board, and there are people scared to death about the toilet paper shortage we had last March 2020. So that toilet paper is basically gold again. Zero Hedge headlined with shortages and about everything on. They said, no, the headline is toilet paper sales plunge as price hikes scare the SHIT. I don't want to say that. We might have some young audiences. I probably doubt that, though. Out of consumers. Scare the SHIT out of consumers. Okay. And we want to keep this a G or PG rated show as well. Sometimes we fall short of that, so we admit that. Now let's move on to the market and the 10-year yields and the 30-year yields, where the 10-year is at about 1.5, 1.6. This is like the lowest it's been in, I would say, in my opinion, record history, right? I could be wrong there. Now, U.S. Treasury, they're questioning, or economic strategists are questioning this. They're like, how is it possible the yields are this low when they should be much off the charts, right? Skyrocketing. So Zero Hedge weighed in on that as well, was shocked by the 10-year lower yield performance, saying, quote, overall sentiment seems to regard lower yields as a near impossibility. Gold, however, is acting like we've likely seen the highest real yields, regardless of what happens at 1.56 or 1.6%, which is the 10-year. It looks as if the precious metals correction from the high last August may be over. So what does that mean? Well, they'll tell us in just a moment. They are advising you to buy gold, saying, quote, now is a good time to buy gold. This is one of those times. Now, I'm not telling you to do it. That's what I'm here to do, is report the news to you, okay? So we don't take responsibility on this channel. Whatever decisions, financial and otherwise, that you take is on your responsibility. You gotta make that decision and do your due diligence. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the masks again for a minute. I should have tied it in with the other one, but it's okay. So one Georgia mother who has a 6-year-old was pleading, I guess, to state authorities or state or her local people representing her, government officials. That's what I was looking for. She pleaded an emotional plea to them because she says that that her 6-year-old daughter told her that she no longer wants to wear a mask 7 hours a day. And the girl said, the 6-year-old, are you going to tell them tonight? Tell them I don't want to wear this anymore. So the emotional mother, she has the right to be. She says, but I know I'm going to have these critics tell me, but Miss Taylor, it's not us, it's the CDC. And her response is, we did not vote for the people at the CDC. We did elect leaders who did create policy. We elected the 5 of you to make the difficult decisions for our children's best interest. She says, quote, it has to stop. Take this off our children. Am I wrong, or is it the responsibility of her as a parent to know the best interest of her child? But I get it. She's respecting the law, so I give her props and brownie points for that. She's trying to do the right thing. She doesn't want the mob at her. Because in our society now, the mob rules. You have to understand that, okay? Just get that clear. On to other interesting news. Zero Hedge headline, 6 rioters arrested for defacing Central Park monuments in NYC's, quote, peaceful protest. In the article, they say, quote, 100 protesters stopped outside the New York Times building in Times Square to shout another language, a vulgarity we're not going to use on our channel. It's the F-U, F and it ends with a K. Okay, you guys get it? Good. The New York Times, they shouted blank F and then K to the New York Times. It's unfortunate because the New York Times actually supports their liberty and free speech, is what they think of it, to loiter, looter, deface property, even though it's not theirs. So they support those efforts. Their right to destroy, vandalize, and even attack police. Now, the reason why I mention that is for the following next note. That today or yesterday, New York Times columnist Paul Krugman, New York Times columnist, keep that in mind, that's what the looters or protesters, peaceful or otherwise, said. They said F and then K to New York Times. So New York Times Paul Krugman, he's sympathetic. He took onto Twitter to praise those protesters, peaceful and otherwise, where he says, quote, the idea that our big cities were under threat is pure malevolent, if I pronounced that correct, fantasy. Sometimes I can't read what I write. Fantasy BLM may have been the best behaved protest movement in history. And he goes on to say, the reality is that BLM protests were overwhelmingly peace. What about all the killing and looting by BLM mobs? So that's a wrap. That's all I have to share with you guys. Oh yeah, let's talk about Bitcoin for just a moment. We forgot to touch bases on it. Now with all this market frenzy or scare, I heard that somebody from JP Morgan advised the other day or recently to buy during the dip. We learned in the my other videos, while we read the article about 100 years of prosperity, they said for us to avoid buying during the dip because they noticed that in 1928, I believe it was, or 1948, someone deposited $1 and they decided to, I believe it was 2008, to see what the value of that $1 it was, and it became 4 cents. So that's what happens when you buy during the dip. You get zilch, nada, no capital gain. So they said that, and I think they retracted today or yesterday saying, okay, we made a mistake there. Before that, they urged people in droves to buy during the dip. Mistake, wrong. That's kaput for anybody who did that. Hopefully they didn't. Now Bitcoin has dropped. It dipped. Yesterday it was 54,000. Today is 50,000, as well as Ethereum was close to 2,500 yesterday. Today it lost $300. What is it at? I believe 2,300. So there's the news for you. That's what I got. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Give me comments. criticisms, whatever you want, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you think. What are you hearing? Are you guys hearing other news? Your thoughts are appreciated. If you choose to, like I always say on my show. Thank you for watching, supporting, liking, subscribing, whatever it is you want to do. And be safe, be blessed, and we'll see you in my next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye.